Welcome to our YouTube tutorial on building a password manager application using Python and Tkinter. In this video, we'll walk you through step by step on how to create a password manager application that allows you to add, update, retrieve, and delete passwords, as well as display all stored passwords. We'll be using Python, a powerful programming language, along with Tkinter, a built-in Python library for creating graphical user interfaces. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a basic understanding of GUI programming in Python and how to implement a practical application like a password manager. Let's dive in. Importing Tkinter. The line import Tkinter as tk imports the Tkinter module and assigns it an alias tk. Defining the password manager UI class. The method __init__self master is the constructor of the class. It initializes the user interface elements and sets up the master window where these elements will be placed. Initializing the master window. Self.master equals master assigns the master window to an instance variable self.master. Self.master.title, password manager, sets the title of the master window to password manager. Creating UI elements. Self.account_label equals tk label, master, text equals account, creates a label widget for displaying account text. Self.account_entry equals tk entry, master, creates an entry widget for users to input account information. Self.password_label equals tk label, master, text equals password, creates a label widget for displaying password text. Self.password_entry equals tk entry, master, show equals asterisk, creates an entry widget for users to input password information, with the characters shown as asterisks for security. Creating buttons. Several buttons are created using the tk button constructor. Each button has a text label and a command associated with it. For example, self.add_button equals tk button, master, text equals add password, command equals self.add_password, creates a button labeled add password, and associates it with the add_password method. Similar buttons are created for updating, retrieving, deleting, and displaying passwords. Placing UI elements. The grid method is used to place each UI element in the master window. They are arranged in rows and columns with specified padding, paths and pd. Output label and password manager instance. Self.output_label equals tk label, master, text equals, creates a label widget for displaying output messages. Self.manager equals password manager, creates an instance of the password manager class, which manages the passwords. Overall, this code sets up the graphical user interface for a password manager application, including labels, entry fields, buttons, and an output label for messages. It also initializes an instance of the password manager class for managing passwords. Let's break down next two functions. 1. Add_password self. This function is a method of the password manager UI class. It retrieves the account and password entered by the user from the account_entry and password_entry widgets, respectively. It checks if both the account and password are not empty, if account and password. If both fields are not empty, it calls the add_password method of the manager object, an instance of the password manager class, with the account and password as arguments. This method adds the password to the manager's password dictionary. It updates the text of the output_label widget to indicate that the password for the account has been added successfully. Self.output_label.config, text equals f. Password for account added successfully. If either the account or the password field is empty, it updates the text of the output_label widget to prompt the user to enter both account and password. Self.output_label.config, text equals please enter both account and password. 2. Update_password self. This function is also a method of the password manager UI class. Similar to the add_password function, it retrieves the account and new password entered by the user from the account_entry and password_entry widgets, respectively. It checks if both the account and new password are not empty, if account and new underscore password. If both fields are not empty, it calls the update underscore password method of the manager object with the account and new underscore password as arguments. This method updates the password for the specified account in the manager's password dictionary. It updates the text of the output underscore label widget to indicate that the password for the account has been updated successfully. Self.output underscore label.config, text equals F. Password for account updated successfully. If either the account or the new password field is empty, it updates the text of the output underscore label widget to prompt the user to enter both account and new password. Self.output underscore label.config, text equals. Please enter both account and new password. These functions provide the functionality to add a new password and update an existing password in the password manager application, respectively. They ensure that the user provides both the account and password for adding a new password, or both the account and new password for updating an existing password, before performing the corresponding operation. If any of these fields are empty, the user is prompted to enter the necessary information. Certainly. Let's break down next three functions. 1. Retrieve underscore password self. This method is a part of the Password Manager UI class. It first retrieves the account entered by the user from the account underscore entry widget. If the account is not empty if account, it proceeds to retrieve the password associated with that account using the get underscore password method of the manager object, an instance of the Password Manager class. If a password is found, if password, it updates the text of the output underscore label widget to display the password for the specified account in the format password for account password. If the account field is empty, it updates the text of the output underscore label widget to prompt the user to enter an account to retrieve the password. 2. Delete underscore password self. This method is also a part of the Password Manager UI class. It retrieves the account entered by the user from the account underscore entry widget. If the account is not empty if account, it calls the delete underscore password method of the manager object with the account as an argument. This method removes the password associated with the specified account from the manager's password dictionary. It updates the text of the output underscore label widget to indicate that the password for the specified account has been deleted successfully. If the account field is empty, it updates the text of the output underscore label widget to prompt the user to enter an account to delete the password. 3. Display underscore password self. This method is a part of the Password Manager UI class. It retrieves all passwords stored in the Password Manager using the display underscore all underscore passwords method of the manager object. If there are passwords stored, if passwords, it updates the text of the output underscore label widget to display the passwords. If there are no passwords stored, it updates the text of the output underscore label widget to indicate that there are no passwords stored. These functions provide functionalities to retrieve a password for a specified account, delete a password associated with a specified account, and display all passwords stored in the Password Manager application, respectively. They ensure that the user provides the necessary input and provide appropriate feedback through the output underscore label widget. Certainly. Let's break down the Password Manager class and its methods. 1. __init__self. This is the constructor method of the Password Manager class. It initializes the passwords attribute as an empty dictionary when a new instance of the Password Manager class is created. 2. Add_password self account password. This method adds a new password to the passwords dictionary. It takes two parameters, account and password, representing the account name and its associated password, respectively. It adds the account as a key and the corresponding password as its value in the passwords dictionary. 3. Update_password self account new password. This method updates an existing password in the passwords dictionary. It takes two parameters, account and new password, representing the account name and the new password to be updated, respectively. It first checks if the account exists in the passwords dictionary, if account and self.passwords. If the account exists, it updates its associated password with the new password. 4. Get_password self account. This method retrieves the password associated with a given account from the passwords dictionary. It takes one parameter, account, representing the account name for which the password is to be retrieved. It returns the password associated with the specified account using the get method of dictionaries. 5. Delete _password self account. This method deletes a password associated with a given account from the passwords dictionary. It takes one parameter, account, representing the account name for which the password is to be deleted. It first checks if the account exists in the passwords dictionary, if account and self.passwords. If the account exists, it removes the key-value pair from the passwords dictionary corresponding to the specified account. 6. Display all passwords self. This method returns all passwords stored in the passwords dictionary. It returns the entire passwords dictionary. These methods provide functionalities to manage passwords such as adding, updating, retrieving, and deleting passwords, as well as displaying all passwords stored in the Password Manager class. They ensure efficient management and retrieval of passwords within the Password Manager application. Certainly. This block of code is the entry point of the application and contains the main logic to start the Password Manager application. 1. Def main. This defines a function named main. It serves as the entry point of the program where the main logic of the application resides. 2. Root =tk. This line creates the main application window using the tk constructor from the Tkinter module. It initializes an instance of the tk class, which represents the main window of the application. 3. App =password manager UI root. This line creates an instance of the Password Manager UI class, passing the root window as its argument. This effectively initializes the graphical user interface GUI of the Password Manager application within the main window, root. 4. Root.main This method call starts the event loop of the application. The main loop method listens for events, such as user interactions like button clicks or window resizing, and handles them appropriately. This loop continues running until the user closes the application window. 5. If __name == main__. This conditional statement checks if the script is being run directly, as opposed to being imported as a module into another script. If the script is being run directly, i.e., if it is the main script being executed, then the code inside this block will be executed. 6. Main. This line calls the main function defined earlier, which initializes the GUI of the Password Manager application and starts the event loop, effectively launching the application. Overall, this block of code sets up the main window of the application, initializes the graphical user interface GUI using the Password Manager UI class, and starts the event loop to handle user interactions and keep the application responsive. Let's see what you can do with this Password Manager application. 1. Adding passwords. You can add passwords for your accounts by entering the account name and password in the designated fields and clicking the Add Password button. 2. Updating passwords. If you need to update a password for an existing account, simply enter the account name and the new password, then click the Update Password button. 3. Retrieving passwords. To retrieve a password for a specific account, enter the account name and click the Retrieve Password button. The application will display the password for that account. 4. Deleting passwords. If you want to remove a password for a particular account, enter the account name and click the Delete Password button. 5. Displaying all passwords. You can also view all stored passwords by clicking the Display All Passwords button. This will show you a list of all accounts and their associated passwords. We hope you found this video helpful in understanding how to build your own password manager from scratch. With the knowledge gained from this tutorial, you can now create a secure and efficient solution for managing your passwords across various accounts. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more tutorials on Python programming and GUI development with Tkinter. If you have any questions or suggestions for future tutorials, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, happy coding, and stay